In this video, I'm going to review the actual rhythms and tempos in approximated beats per minute for 3 of the bosses in First Berserker Khazan. 2 of the bosses are the most common ones people seem to be struggling with in general, Viper and Maluca, but the third fight I'm going to review is Ilyna. Since that fight employs musical concepts, I was curious to see if there was something unique about it, and there certainly are some interesting things going on there rhythmically compared to the others. Knowing the BPM of the boss fights you're struggling with means you'll be able to use a metronome, like any of the millions available for free online, to practice getting in the groove of the combat in order to achieve victory. Also, knowing which beats to brink guard and which beats are openings for attacks should aid your memorization of the boss attacks in perhaps a slightly more specific way compared to any other boss guides you've watched previously. Before we get started though, I need to review the concepts of downbeats versus upbeats, as some of the boss attacks are slightly off-tempo. If you're already familiar with musical concepts, just skip ahead to the next chapter. Otherwise, here's a very specific example using guitar to illustrate the differences between the two. For both examples, I've created a very simple beat where the kick and the snare drum are on the downbeats and the hi-hat is on the upbeats. In this downbeat example, the guitar will only follow the kick and snare. The upbeat example, I'm going to play the same riff, but only following the hi-hat. Now that you understand the difference between downbeats and upbeats, let's get started with the Viper fight. Alright, so Viper's going to be coming in at 100 BPM, and one of the first things that he's going to do is do this slight offbeat attack, with that second attack coming in on the upbeat. Now he gives you plenty of openings to do some damage, but he's pretty much going to attack you on the 1, 2, 3 beats, depending upon what the attack is. It's another 1 and 3, 1, 2, 1 and 3 again, and you can get these reflections down too. You can do a ton of stamina damage. The timing is kind of weird for that, but I feel like if you're just a beat ahead, you can pretty much always get a reflection. So if you time that right when he jumps in the air, he'll come down right on the 3rd beat. Same thing with the grab. It's on the 3rd beat from when the animation begins. Long wind up there, but you can see the combo, what the openings are. It's all downbeats, you get a few openings. And just brink guard as much as you can, do that stamina damage. Comes the 3s, 3 and 7 there. 2 and 4 and the 7. 2 and 4 again. Slight upbeat there on the 3 beat. Ooh, another reflection, just crushing him. One, 3 and 5. 3, get out the way. So basically the 2nd and 4th beat there, comes another 3, boom. 3. 3. For that 3rd beat. 3. Dodge on 3. So now things are going to change up a little bit as the tempo slows down about 10 BPM. So he's going from 100 to 90. And the attacks are very slow. I would say the 2 beat, that's really what you want to watch out for. So think of this wind up as the first beat. Generally attacks on downbeat of 2. There's another one. Another 2 beat, just kind of an upbeat there. 2 and 3 and 2 and 2 again, 2 again. Beat 2 is this guy's favorite beat. 2 and 4. Now for the counter, I never got it right, but you should be able to time it for the 3rd beat. This was before I was actually decent at using counters. I didn't quite understand it this early in the game. Here's his combo. 2, 3, and 4, and 7. Very slow. Much slower than... It's only a 10 BPM difference, but it's so much slower. It's kind of amusing. Now, when this happens, it's really the same thing. He just is going to attack you on beat 2. Comes again. Alright. This dude loves the 2 beat. So there's some variation in it. Beat 4 is what you want to look for. So count to 4 once he's jumping in the air. That should save you. Here comes another 2. And a 5. 8 and 1. Cool follow-up. Here's his combo, right? 1, 2, 3, and 6. Let's get in some damage. And it's over. Not too bad. Kind of fun fight. 2 tempos. Now Maluca, he is a tricky boss, but he's going to start off a little slow at 85 BPM when he's got the great swords. And if you take these opportunities to punish him very early on, you can bully him right into the 2nd phase. And really, he won't be able to do much to you. So he's going to predominantly attack on these 2 beats. It's all 4-4. Think of when he winds up as the start of it. But you can see if you get him to be staggered at all, and then you get that counter as a follow-up. You break his guard, get him staggered, and it's on to phase 2, which is where the real fun begins. Now, if you can time it right, from the point at which he jumps into the air, it should be about 5 beats, and here it's going to be on beat 4 to just ignore that damage, that incoming lightning samurai damage, whatever the hell. He's got this long combo. He's going to hit you about 9 times, but there's certain pauses in between it, which gives you an opportunity to riposte, to get some damage back to him. 3, 5, and 7 seems to be a common one. Look for either beat 3 or 4 when he's doing his lightning attack. He's either going to do it for a long time or a shorter time. The grab is going to be on the 3rd beat. Gonna have openings there. Kick is on beat 2, just as it was in the beginning. And the 3rd beat has an opening on that one. Now don't let him heal or anything. Throw a javelin. and 5. Lots of openings in that attack, though. Did the same thing again. 1, 3, and 5. Now, when he does these jumps, if you time it right, he should land on the 3rd beat. And you should be able to bring guard that nice and easy. Beat 3 are his attacks for those spins. Same for these things. These whirlwind attacks. Now the burst attack here, whatever this is kind of tricky to time. Can't quite get it right because it's a projectile, so even though there is a rhythm to it, the distance that it takes to travel to you, it's going to be off the beat. There's no preciseness to it. You just got to kind of get it down. So we can chain these long attacks together. Attacks on the 8 beat here. And then he avoids that brutal attack. Long combo again. Really just a string of attacks, but it's good to know where these pauses are. Boom. 4th again. 4th to finish it off. Gotcha. Down he goes. Alright, finally we've got Princess Ilyna? Something like that. Princess Ilyna. And this is an interesting one because it is in 3/4 and 6/8. And if you time it when she's starting her attack animations, you can see it's roughly 3 beats. I think this is the only boss to do something outside of some kind of 4/4 time. And it's pretty quick. At 120 BPM, her attacks are very fast. But she does attack basically in triplets, like the 1, 2, 3. And that combo is crazy. The combo jumps up in BPM by like 50, like 170 BPM. This is a very interesting boss because music is the whole theme. She attacks you with notes and clefs and bars. It's interesting. But she's very easy to bully. Very easy to stagger. Unfortunately, this is sort of the point in the game where we start to see a lot of these mage bosses. And when you get to these mages that float around and you're literally just dodging for the better part of a minute and a half before you can even really do any damage back to them, I feel like it really betrays the original intent of this game. Because the boss fights, when they do have the rhythm and it's up close and personal, it's a lot of fun. But this gets a little tedious, where you're just waiting, basically. You're just avoiding projectiles. And while there are rhythms to these attacks, because they're traveling a distance to you, again, it's a variable effect. You can't really nail the time. It's just, oh, is it close to me? Well, I better dodge. The same is true for, like, you know, the bosses for, like, the last third of the game, which is kind of unfortunate. But in general, not too bad here. We're gonna mess her up pretty bad. I love the sheet music. Like, there's a wall, too. Very creative. Explosion. Still more range to it. Okay, here we go. Back to 3/4. But this grab was weird. This was at like 160 BPM. I feel like maybe that was the original speed for the fight, and they just kind of left that in there. They tuned it down to 120. Sort of interesting. Strange that it's so much faster. And she's done for. You can back her into a corner, it's game over. Hopefully you found the rhythm analysis to these 3 fights interesting, as I've always wanted to illustrate how Souls games are definitively rhythm games, and the First Berserker Khazan seems so deliberate with the boss tempos that I knew they could be illustrated with an actual beat. Let me know if this guide helped you out for any of these fights, or if you want to see more analysis like this in the future. Sound off in the comments below and click the button so this video gets out there to more people. This was an incredibly tedious video that took me weeks to make, so I probably won't do this for future boss guides unless you guys really dig this approach. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. Now get the hell out of here.